Starting right now, do something, anything on a consistent basis to move forward your dreams. My friends, 10 to 15 minutes a day, that's what we ask each and every day. I have a friend who is a rather accomplished writer. He's a professor. He publishes as much or more than anyone does, and his goal every day, 5 days a week, is to write 1 page of publishable material. First thing he does in the mornings. By doing that 5 days a week, pretty much 50 weeks out of 52 out of a year, he does that. He publishes, writes, produces more work than anyone else I know. Just a little bit of time, 1 page a day. For us, 10 to 15 minutes a day. It adds up. It is cumulative. So please, don't try to cram. This is not like college or high school where you don't do anything all semester and you just cram at the end and maybe pass. This is more like farming. You have to plant that seed. You have to water it. You have to hoe around it, keep the weeds away, watch it grow, fertilize it, do all those things. It's the farm analogy, not the school analogy. Keep that in mind, my friends. You can do this. Let's jump into these charts. Doing this a little early today because I've got some stuff I've got to do right around the 4 o'clock hour. It's about 1/4 till as I record this for you right now. We see stocks and Bitcoin down. Gold is up a little bit. When I get to gold, I want to talk to you a little more about my plan, my own personal plan for the future when we get to gold. Let's jump first into the S&P 500. Things down not a whole lot. That seems to be sort of slowing here, down 0.32%, sort of vacillating a little bit between 0.30, 0.32. And of course, we see there's some indecision in the morning, then went down in the afternoon. We had that beautiful play that ended last week down 3 points. I won't just keep jumping on that forever, but it worked out really nice. We don't have a reset here to jump back in. So we're letting that run. And you know what, folks? That's okay. We took our chunk out of the middle. We are happy with it. 2-day, of course, is still trundling down along with the weekly, which crossed over last week going down. That tells us a lot. Do you see that yellow line here at the bottom? Shows us that we're getting closer and closer to that hard bear territory. Now, of course, we're already in a bear market. We've already had 2 quarters of negative GDP. So, of course, that's already happened, but we're waiting to see on our charts if we go into that bear territory below the weekly. That will tell us a lot too. But right now, we're paying attention to where our STC is. It is, of course, negative on all 3 of our charts. We're waiting for a reset on the half day so we can jump back into another down movement. We saw that happen back when things crossed over going up on the 9th of September, and then, of course, rotated over going down on the 14th, which is when we jumped in. Pretty much the same with the Qs. It's only down 0.13% right now. We can see where, again, in the morning, like the S&P, some indecision, then rolled on over, but it hasn't hit the prior lows yet, gotten awfully close to it. But we'll keep an eye on things. Again, sooner this resets, the better, so we can potentially jump into another down move, or who knows? What if the market just takes off going up? That's fine too. Don't think that's going to be happening, but anything is possible. The charts will tell us. Of course, we see things down on the 2-day, the STC, and on the weekly. So things moving down. Again, lots of downward pressure on the market. Now let's go to bonds. Woo! Bonds down for the day big time. Now, some of you ask me, Tom, why didn't you jump back in when things moved down, then popped up? It was above that point, and you are correct. I went ahead and charted it for you. I know some of you did chart this. Of course, we did go ahead and put that on the chart for you. That closed out this morning. That was a successful trade. I did not initiate this. You guys did. You asked me to track it. So I put it on last night. And of course, what did it do? First thing in the morning, it hit the target. So that's beautiful. I don't think I would have stayed in though, friends, to be truthful. I don't think I would have stayed in. It did not close, but it did penetrate that loss band rather. I would not have stayed in when it did that. Again, it was still moving down. I would have pulled it and taken that small loss at 1.17%, but it did rotate back over. Now, how might you have talked yourself into staying? Well, if you look at where things were, they were above the average on the volume too. That would have convinced me to get out. I wouldn't have stayed in this trade, but I went ahead and charted it for you. I wouldn't have done it. I would have taken the loss if I would have taken it. I like to see things clear all the way down to the bottom and then reset. That's a reason I don't like these little things. We can go and backtrack stuff and try to convince ourselves that, hey, I would have broken the rules and done this. I wouldn't, but I went ahead and put it on the chart for you anyway. I would have let that 2.32% go because I would have pulled it with a loss of 1.17. But again, just put it on there for you to show you. You guys asked me about it. That was a possibility, but for me, not a probability. So what are we waiting to happen? Well, we're waiting for bonds. Again, they are pushing down strongly for the day, waiting for things to reset on bonds. Now, we look at where things are on the 2-day, well below the 200 EMA and just a hammering down on the 2-day chart. And the same on the weekly, well below that 200 EMA and pushing down quite strong again. Bonds heading down while the market's heading down. What causes things like that? Well, crashes. The market going way, way south, being very, very bearish. All those things where people are having margin calls, having the market is just deteriorating. People are robbing from Peter to pay Paul, selling positions, and the whole market just moving down. Now, before I get to gold, let's go to Bitcoin first. Let's talk about where we are on Bitcoin. Bitcoin down 0.96%. We look at this half-day chart and you can see where things are really just sort of, again, hitting that bottom at about $18.20, $18.20. We're not getting much love at all from our STC. It is not really telling us a lot because of all this sideways slide. We can see where things went into the green. Yeah, for half a day, no thanks. What do we see on the 2-day? Again, we can see where things are hitting that same bottom, which is good to see. I want to see it take off from there. Same with a weekly. Bitcoin is holding right around this 1820 mark, which is nice. I want it to stay there. I want it to stay there, build a nice bottom, a nice base, and then move up. And when we see that happening, we will jump into it and ride that gravy train in our practice trades. Remember, we're not a stock calling service, not a Bitcoin calling service. We're an education firm. And when it comes to education, I will tell you what I have been educating myself on for years. I love gold. I love buying gold. I love tracking gold. I love seeing gold soar. We had some successful gold short trades, about the only way to short gold. As I've told you many times, we don't have an inverse ETF for gold. Well, there is one. There are a few, but extremely illiquid, which means it costs you a lot to get in and you got to cover up a lot of gain, a lot of loss in a gain to pay for the difference between the bid and the ask, which means I'm not jumping in. So shorting gold for me is to do with puts, and you can sure practice trade that. But what I'm waiting for, gold is up a little bit for the day. Hard to tell here, but it is still, though, lots of downward pressure on gold, well below the 200 EMA. I actually hear people talking about buying gold. Well, I'm not buying it any time until I see things bottom out and turn around. And then what am I going to do with gold? Well, I personally, I'm not giving any market advice here. I'm just telling you what I'm personally looking for is I can't wait to buy gold. I can't wait to see gold turn around and soar. When we look at what gold has done before, and I touched on this yesterday, we can bring these charts in and you can see where gold has had a heyday in the past, where it has moved up, bounced off the 200 EMA on that weekly chart. And you can again see it can be a little bit circuitous, but where gold pushed up, reaching those highs in August of 2020, that was beautiful. and again touched a decent near high back in February. Was that February? March 7th. And then, of course, has moved well off that, pushing through that weekly EMA at this point. At some point, it will turn around. And I would urge you to, again, practice trade gold. You can practice trade the shorting. You can also practice trade it as it starts to turn around, as you start seeing things happen. And again, be here with us each and every day. Follow these charts. You've got to practice trade these things to understand them. But I am hoping there's going to be an incredible opportunity at some point in the future. It is not now, but at some point in the future to jump into gold and to ride that gravy train in the precious metal. We have tracked gold for years. Gold has been very good to us, and we will continue to keep an eye on it and be ready for it to start moving up. It's not doing that right now. We can see even on the 200 EMA, it is below that also. So we're waiting for gold to turn around. When it does, and it will, it's not like Bitcoin. It's not like a company that can go bankrupt. Gold is gold. It has been a store of value for millennia, and it will continue to be so. But it has to be moving in the right direction before I'm going to buy it. Why would I buy anything that I don't need that's losing money? Not going to do it. But when the time is right, I will be pouncing. So stay with us each and every day. Follow these charts. Understand how gold works. Practice trade it for free. Okay, my friends, that's it for the day. I am waiting for the day to come when gold is soaring, and I will be there. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters. Don't hesitate to email us. We love your questions. CW@chartingwealth.com.